Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Now in this video, I'll complete one more program for hybrid inheritance. In the last video, I have completed the program for hybrid inheritance. So let's start with this hybrid inheritance program. Just see this structure of this program. Now you can see the program. There is a class student, class test, class sports, and the class result. So this is the program for hybrid inheritance, right? So student class having these two variables, the roll number as well as the name. Test class having these two member variable, that subject 1 and subject 2 marks. Sports class will access the member variable, that is sports marks, and the result will access the addition of subject 1 marks, subject 2 marks, and the sports marks. So it is a combination of multi-level inheritance as well as this multiple inheritance, right? So test class will access data from the student class, and this result class will access data from this test class as well as this sports class both. So now we'll start with the program. So I just open this Dev C++, right? Start with this header file as includes IOStream, using namespace std, now I have to create a class. As you can see, the name of the class is here student, so I'll write here student class. Now this is student class having two member variables, roll number as well as the name, right? So we'll declare within this protected modifier int roll number, and I'll take character name, make it size 10. Within the public section, I'll just make it wide get data. So this will take the inputs of this roll number and the name. So just write here cout enter roll number cin roll number So second member function, second member variable is your name. Okay, so this is name. Alright, so this is the member function 1. Now I have to display this, so I'll write here void show data. In this member function, I'll just display the value for this roll number as well as the name. So simply just write here cout function, right? So this is roll number is roll number, name is okay. So this is the class 1. I have finished this student class, right? You can see this opening bracket, closing bracket here, opening bracket of this get data, then opening bracket of this show data, right? So opening and closing, this you check this bracket for this class. Okay, so now we have finished this student class. Put the semicolon and just go to the another class. Second class is just the test. Okay, now this class will access data from this student class, so I'll write here public student. Now we'll declare the variables subject 1 marks and subject 2 marks, so I'll write here subject 1 and subject 2. Member function that should be declared within this public section. Simply just I have to take the integer values, right? So write here void put marks so one for input and another for that output. So enter subject 1, right? So this is subject 1 marks. Second is enter subject 2 marks. So this is subject 1. This is subject 2. Okay. Now display these two subject marks. Right. So write here void display marks. Or you can write here show marks. So simply just write here subject 1 marks. This is subject 1. And subject 2 marks. So this is subject 2. This is the class number 2. Test, which will access data from the student class. Number of member variables are here subject 1 and subject 2. Member function put marks and show marks. This is the end of the class. Put the semicolon. And you can see about this third class, right? So here this is a sport class, right? So sports class you have to check here. So now this will be a base class, right? Third class will be there, right? Here I have to declare this sports marks, and that will be accessible within the result class. So result class will access data from the test class as well as the sports class both. So write here class sports. I'll declare here, for example, I'll write here int sports marks. I'll declare within this use this public section, okay, so that enter the sports marks void get sports enter sports marks another member function void Now need to display this sports marks, right? So this is the third class, opening bracket, closing bracket, then member function, opening bracket, closing brackets, second member function, opening bracket and closing brackets. Now just put the semicolon here. So now we have finished all the three classes declaration part. Now there is a third class, this is the result class which will access data from this test class as well as this result class, right? So now this is the derived class that will access data from this test class as well as the sports class. So write a class result. Here we'll implement this multiple inheritance. So write here public test and public sports. So these are the two classes. You can see this is the sports class and this is the test class. So test class as well as this sports class will be accessible by this result class. Now within this, simply I have to declare this total. Okay, so I'll write here total. Now I have to declare this member function. So we are not calculating this input here, right? So simply I have to just access this data. So I'll write here void get result. Now I have to calculate this, right? So you know that total will be calculated here, subject 1 plus subject 2 plus sports. So it will calculate here and the next class will display the values, right? So I'll just write here void show result. So opening bracket and closing bracket. I just write here total marks. I can display here total marks of student. So variable here is try total. So here this is the class opening brackets, closing bracket, get result, opening bracket, closing bracket, show result, opening bracket, closing brackets, right? So put the semicolon here. Now create this main function. Go to the main function. So I write here main function. We'll create the object of this class. So we'll create the object of this result class. Result res. Now we have so many member functions, right? In the previous classes I have called the member function, right? So I'll just write here res dot. So I'll put all the member functions one by one. Input get data res dot void get put marks. So write here res dot will get the sports marks and will get the total. Res dot, so I'll write here get result. Okay, now I will display all that values here. So res dot show data, then res dot show marks rs dot show sports and rs dot show result. So all the member functions, right? These are the member functions for inputs and these are the member functions for the outputs. And just write here return 0. Okay, now just compile the program. Okay, so marks, this is a sports marks, right? Okay, now you can run this program. Enter the roll number, for example 123, name of the student, enter the subject 1 marks, enter the subject 2 marks, enter the sports marks, for example this is 15, and now you can see this data. Roll number is displayed, name is displayed, subject 1 marks is displayed here, subject 2 marks displayed here, sports marks also added here, and also the total marks of the student is displayed here. Okay, so this is the end of this program. So thank you everyone, thank you for watching my video, thank you.